Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com, and I'm here today to talk Kansas City Chiefs football once again. And guys, we've got to talk because a big name player, a big name defensive player in the NFL has just come available this morning, and his name is Stephon Gilmore, the All-Pro Defensive Player of the Year cornerback for the New England Patriots. A surprise release only 4 games into the year. Stephon Gilmore will hit the open market, at least we think, as of right now. I'll get into that here in a second, but I want to let all of you know that Adam Schefter tweeted, "The market for Stephon Gilmore, the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2019, is expected to be robust. Multiple teams are expected to be interested, and the 31-year-old Gilmore should be recovered from his quad injury in the coming weeks." I'm not totally sure why the New England Patriots made this move now, but just from reading Twitter, it kind of sounds like Gilmore wanted a new deal. The Patriots weren't ready to give that to him unless he showed to be healthy, and they just kind of had a soured relationship. I think that's the best that I can describe it. I would assume that the Patriots also tried to trade him at one point, but there were no deals for him out there. But I mentioned a second ago that he might not actually be released, okay? And the reason I say that is because if he is to be released today, he won't come available till 4 o'clock. So until then, the Patriots could still work out a trade with someone if they wanted to and teams are interested. This could definitely be something the Patriots put out there in order to strike a deal, increase their chances to strike a deal with a team that wants exclusive rights towards Stephon Gilmore. Now, a lot of the times when I do these videos talking about a potential player the Chiefs could sign, I throw some stats out there and some numbers to support the fact that, there's still a player that can help out the team. I don't need to say anything about Stephon Gilmore. This is a shutdown corner, one of the best corners in the NFL. He's 31 years old now, so we'll have to see how much he still actually has left in the tank, but I don't think there's any question that he's still one of the best cornerbacks in the league, and he's certainly probably going to be the best cornerback on the Kansas City Chiefs roster if he were to sign, and he would be the only shutdown cornerback KC has had in some time. And look, I really like L'Jarius Sneed and his potential, but he's not a shutdown corner at this moment. Charvarius Ward, you guys know how I feel about him. Mike Hughes has been a disaster thus far. He's constantly getting beat. The cornerback room, at this point, Brett Veach and his lack of high investment at corner is really starting to show on this roster. Now, what some people might say is the corners, it doesn't really matter. They're going to look really bad when this team has no pass rush. And that's one of the main problems with this defensive roster too. And while I agree, there's not a whole lot out there available that will help the pass rush. But right now you're looking at a cornerback who could help you that is available. So right now that's the priority. Secondly, ever since watching the 2018 Chiefs defense, I'm convinced that having a pass rush isn't as big of a help as some people make it out to be with the secondary. Like, at the end of the day, if your cornerbacks aren't good, they aren't good. That's my opinion, because look, in 2018, the Chiefs defense led the league in sacks with 52. They were tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 52 sacks, and their pass rush was one of the best in the league with Dee Ford, Justin Houston, and Chris Jones. Yet their pass defense was ranked at the bottom of the NFL. They were horrible. You can still make the best of a bad pass rush situation if you have a good secondary. And the Chiefs have a shot here to potentially improve their secondary. And there are reports out there that the Chiefs will be interested in Stephon Gilmore. Matt Vernerom of Fansided tweeted, "I'm told the Chiefs have interest in Stephon Gilmore, but financial constraints could be an issue here. KC doesn't have much money to play with." KC only has a little over $3 million in cap space right now, and that is without the Josh Gordon signing going into the system, so it's probably even a little bit less than that. So the Chiefs would have to do some real cap gymnastics here if they want to sign Stephon Gilmore, because if he does become a free agent, Josina Anderson reports, "My understanding is that cornerback Stephon Gilmore, who is set to earn $7 million in base salary this season, is looking to earn at least $15 million a year on the open market. There are several teams that can look to bolster their secondary with attrition already kicking in by week 5. I just got to be blunt with you guys. If Stephon Gilmore is looking for $15 million a year when he becomes a free agent, the Chiefs are automatically out of the conversation. I would say the Chiefs' best chance to acquire Stephon Gilmore would be to hit on some sort of trade in which they dump some salary and are able to get a cheaper version of Stephon Gilmore by taking on his base salary for 2021 instead of giving him, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, $15 million. Frank Clark for Stephon Gilmore swap, maybe? I'm just kidding. No one wants Frank Clark. Come on, let's be real. All in all, I still think it would be pretty difficult for the Chiefs to come up with some sort of trade to land Stephon Gilmore. And then if he becomes a free agent, it's going to be a sweepstakes. It's going to be a bidding war, in my opinion. And the Chiefs, they just can't afford to get in on that. So I struggle to see how Stephon Gilmore ends up in KC unless he's really motivated to play with a contender, sign a cheap one-year deal, and then maybe cash in this offseason, although he's 31 at this point, so he might want that kind of longer-term financial security more immediately. But if Stephon Gilmore really wants to win a championship this year, and again, if he's motivated enough, he could sign with the Chiefs for, around, just a couple $1 million. He would really hinder the Chiefs' flexibility for the rest of the season, but you definitely would do that for an all-pro caliber cornerback at this stage in the Chiefs season with the defense looking like one of the worst in the NFL. I mean, I think they are desperate enough, and they are certainly going to be interested and do whatever they can to land Stephon Gilmore. So even if Brett Veach can't land him, you guys can't really hold it against him. I mean, there's not much he can do if he just doesn't have the money. But at the same time, I mean, you can criticize him for handing out ridiculous contracts to guys like Frank Clark, who are really eating up a lot of the cap space this year. I mean, he has the highest cap hit of any Chiefs player this year at around $25 million. So it's really a cringeworthy detail to acknowledge. Another reason I'm not really confident in Stephon Gilmore coming to KC is I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are one of the favorites here, if not the favorite, given that Tom Brady is in Tampa Bay now. They were teammates in New England. I'm sure they're very fond of each other, and let's be real, the Buccaneers might be in more need of a cornerback than the Chiefs. I mean, they're just signing guys off the street, to be quite honest with you. Their cornerback room is absolutely obliterated thus far. I also think the Green Bay Packers are a player here. I think they have a better chance to land Gilmore than the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, they just don't have a ton of flexibility right now. It's just really poor timing, and it's unfortunate because the Chiefs could really use a Stephon Gilmore type player. I mean, they really could, but those are my thoughts. I just don't see it happening, although I would love for it to. I would love to be proven wrong. Go ahead, Brett Veach. Pull it off and make me go crazy. But those of you watching, I want you to let me know down in the comments, would you like to pick up Stephon Gilmore? And what do you think the chances are that KC lands him? But all that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And check out my work on ShowMeFootball.com and KCKingdom.com. See ya.